Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Just checking the mic. Okay, I think I'm going to keep the mic on from this point forward. Let me know if the audio with the music and with my voice, if that sounds too loud, too quiet, whatever. We still got about 12 minutes until we start, but I just want to go ahead and get the mic situated first since this is the first time I'm using it. I am reading all the comments. I have it on a separate screen, so I'll try to listen to all your feedback and adjust accordingly. Yeah, so just, it's a little bit delayed, so what you're hearing is actually something I've said maybe 15 seconds prior, so I'm kind of just sitting here and waiting for a response. Sounds fine? Okay, good. Shoutouts. So what I'm thinking of doing today, and just so that everyone's clear on what I'm after for today, the music seems a little loud. Is I'm gonna try to just edit a video. That's kind of all I'm gonna do today. My long-term plans are to build, to do at least once a month a live stream build, so that everyone can kind of just hang out with me while I work on stuff, and it'll kind of give me motivation to build. Sometimes it's hard to find motivation, but right now I don't have the appropriate equipment to do that. So I figured just to kind of get my feet wet, see what the interest level is in live streaming. So I'm going to edit this video of a pre-recorded MOC Showcase and see how far I can get. I know I'm going to get really distracted throughout the whole process, but yeah, we'll see if that's interesting. I know it's probably going to be kind of boring to watch, but I'm hoping that just talking with you guys will be worth it. So that's kind of my little rant on that. Still got about 10 minutes. What was with the weird live stream yesterday? That was a accident. I accidentally pressed the wrong button when I was setting this up, and started a live stream, and immediately tried to turn it off. Let's see, what else are people saying? Bit too loud. Okay, I can fix that. Does everyone think it's too loud? What's too loud? The microphone? The music? I will also be drinking coffee since it's kind of early still, so apologies for that. It's the joy of live streaming. There's no cutting anything out. What you hear is just me. No, that's fine. Okay, a little loud. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn down. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I've turned down the gain on the microphone a bit, so hopefully that's good. That's why I'm doing this early, so we can get that all situated before we start. Shout out to me, please. Logaya the skeleton. Handy the robot. Hello. Love this music. What does play stippling mean? That's a good question. Stippling is my kind of pseudonym for the internet. I've used it for pretty much my whole life. And the play part of it is... that's a warning that it's about to start. Sorry. Live streaming. Where is it? Okay, that's gone. Sorry, that was probably really loud. The play part of Play Stippling was kind of my idea of making a channel that was generic enough to where I could do whatever I wanted to do, but kind of tailored towards fun. I didn't know for sure if the Lego thing would kick off, and I'm a big video gamer, so I used the word play as kind of my opportunity to be flexible on the channel. So if Lego kind of bombed, I could switch to video games or something like that. Will I be doing a face reveal? Yes, at some point. That won't be today. I've said before, I don't feel like my face is worthy of a big showcase video. Pretty much what you see in the little image is what my face looks like. I have brown hair, brown eyes, a slight goatee. I'm 26 years old as of tomorrow. So yeah, there's nothing really special to see there. Please do a face review. You want me to do a face review of my face? That would be embarrassing. I don't know if I would do that. What games do I like? I haven't been gaming as much ever since I started the Play Stippling channel. But I've been a big MMO fanatic for a long time. Not really into first-person shooters that much. Right now I play mostly casual games, things I can pick up, play, and put down. That way I have time to do other things. So like Hearthstone, I've been playing Pokemon Go, little things like that. I'm not real gaming. I've been a casual gamer for the last year or so. Oh, thanks. Happy early birthday. When will I build? I won't be building anything today. Like I said, this is going to be only me editing a pre-built MOC. So apologies if that was not clear. Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. Thank you. I didn't know if I was going to mention it, but it kind of came up, so. You already did a face reveal. I don't think I did. I know if you look very carefully in a couple of my videos, and I'm not going to say which ones, you can see reflections of my face. So if you really care that much, you can go start hunting through those videos. Why did I make Stippahlu's personality as it is? That's a good question. I always like characters that are a bit snarky and sarcastic. I think they really make you... it takes effort to love them. So if you can make a character who's kind of a jerk with a heart of gold, I think that's kind of a magical character to have. And I thought in the context of what I was doing, I thought it was a good contrast between me. A lot of people don't look at me as a character, but I am a character too. I'm not always as bubbly and outgoing as I may be in some of my videos. So it's a good contrast. I took the lighthearted nature of me and made it me, and then I took kind of the sarcastic, sometimes a jerk version of me and put it into Stippahlu. So you're kind of getting two halves of me, and somewhere in the middle is the real me. So it kind of made sense for my self-mock to kind of be me in a weird way, if that makes sense. When is next 30-minute mocks? I'm filming it now, I'm editing it now. It's taking so long. It's just gonna take some time. Please make a dinosaur mock, please, a dinosaur mock one day. Well, you might be interested in the video today that I'm editing because it's kind of a dinosaur. Turn down the sound because you drink coffee. Not sure what that means. Will I ever make a really big mock? Yeah, I've made a couple really big mocks. What is your real name, Stippling? I'm gonna keep that private. When it comes out, it comes out. It's not a big deal, but for now, I'm just Stippling. Do you plan on doing anything Christmas or holiday related on your channel? I think so. Not Christmas specifically, but I'll do something. I really wanted to do holiday themed things. It just hasn't really come about quite the way I wanted it to. The Yalgarok video was something I wanted to do, but I literally spent the entire Halloween day editing that video because I finished building him that morning. So that was really last minute. So if I do something for the holidays, it would have to be ahead of time. And my guess is that it might not happen this year just because of the 30-minute mock episode. Please make Stippahlu's father. I'm always really intrigued about, and maybe you guys can answer this for me, the the interest level in Stipalu's family. I've heard people wanting to know about his girlfriend, his son, his brother, his dad. I find that really intriguing that people want to know more about his family than about him himself. I apologize that I'm not going to get to everyone. If I tried to do shoutouts and things like that, I won't finish, so I'm just going to try to read some of the things that catch my eye. I'm going to reiterate this a little bit again. Someone asked about Play Stippling. That's the name of the channel. I consider myself Stippling, and the brand of the channel is Play Stippling. So, yeah, so there's that distinction. People sometimes call me Play. Throws me off a little bit, but that's fine. Where am I from? I'm from the United States of America. I live on the East Coast of the United States of America. Can you make a stop motion? Yeah, I'm making a stop motion right now. It's called episode 12 of 30-minute mocks. Mocking tips. I probably won't cover that in this video. Where was Etalk born? Also probably won't cover that in this video. How much have I spent on Bionicle? I've bought two of every set that ever came out. I think I counted, the most I bought was Skull Basher. I think I bought 5 or 6 of him. So I buy multiples of sets and Bricklink calls. I've spent a good chunk of money on Bionicle, but fortunately, thanks to all of you, a lot of the videos I do help support this hobby of mine, so a lot of that stuff is covered through the videos. Thoughts on the jump I was gonna say jump to Lightspeed, Journey to 1 Makuta. I wasn't all that impressed with it. I may get around to it someday building it, but kind of low priority. Etalk's original concept. Well, let's hold off on the comments. Let me get actually started with the video, and then I'll continue to answer questions. Is everyone cool with the music? If not, I'll turn it down or off. I may have to end up turning it off anyways, just because I'm Morgan Freeman mock. I may have to turn it down just to edit. Yeah. So yeah, let me go ahead and switch screens here. This is actually really hard. If anyone's ever live streamed before, it's actually really complicated. Just keeping track of everything. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn that off, and we're switching to actually editing. So let me. Music's fine. Okay. So we're gonna leave the music for now. So yeah, so we're gonna be editing here. The only problem where you might not like the music is I'm gonna have to edit, so this is probably a really obtrusive sound to you guys right now. But yeah, so I gotta edit. So what we're editing today is kind of a rehash. This may be disappointing to some people, but it's if you guys know Rakar, the raptor character I made, it's a uniter. That character I had said in the capstone review that I was happy with it, but thought I could do a better job. And that's kind of where this was at. I wanted to remake him, but I wanted to keep everything that made him unique. So I rebuilt him, rebuilt his action feature, literally from the ground up. I just rebuilt the entire thing. So let me go ahead and put that on the screen just so you can see what he looks like, the new version. So this is the new version of him. And this is what the video is going to be about. It's going to be about just like you see all the time, editing this video and putting it together. Yeah, so you can see I put a lot more gold in it. I tried to make, in the original, let me pull up comparison, but in the original, let me get rid of all the audio anyways, I don't need that. Okay, so the original, you can see there's a lot more black and a lot less gold. So I kind of supplanted all the black with gold. Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure you guys can see all this. Okay, yeah, so you can see the clear difference between the two, and I had mentioned too that the action feature was really low on the original one. It was kind of built underneath the Unity piece, and I really wanted to fit all that together in really snug. So you can see in the new version, actually you can't even really see the Unity piece because it's so ingrained in there. I did gold because I wanted him to look really good with the Uniter Tahu, and you can see here, let me pull that up. So I guess right now I'm just going to show you all the clips first. Take out the audio there. You can see to unite him, you have to remove the shell on his back, and then you have to do some finagling. That's how the original Rakar was. You had to kind of turn him around, because I really like the idea of the Unity piece being on his back, because it kind of creates scaly look to him. But this one in particular actually united a lot easier than the original Rakar. Just checking in on the comments. Why do you continue to use CCBS system and not practice and experiment with other parts to make MOCs? Why are you so overly obsessed with parts having microscopic scratches? Does it really matter? No, there was one video where I mentioned that I disliked things being used, and that was because I paid over double the price for them to be new. I like parts being new because I like to wear them in myself. If you order enough from Bricklink, you start to get pieces that are really, really in bad shape, to the point where sometimes they don't even connect. Pinholes are loose, pins break. It's just better if you get it new. Why not get it new would be my counterpoint to that. Why change Rakar? I changed Rakar. I didn't actually change him. You can see he's a completely different figure. Let me get back to the whole point of this, which was to show you the Unity. But I made a completely different figure because, like I said, I thought it deserved a second look. It was one of the first MOCs I ever made, so it was important to me to see how far I've come and see like what I could do to improve, or what I've done to improve over time. Yeah, the black horns were kind of a split. I wasn't certain on how I liked that, but when you kind of look at the whole of Tahu united with him, you can actually see the black plays an important role in the overall color scheme. I thought it really blended nicely. Let me get a close-up on that. Oh, yeah, you can see all the warts and blemishes of raw footage. That's not a very good shot. This one's better. Okay, but yeah, you can see, I mean, Tahu has black in him, so when you kind of put it all together, it looks pretty good. How do you live stream? Well, I changed the other creatures. I don't really have plans to. Without getting into too much details, I'm gonna say that this MOC was actually a gift I made. I made it for someone. I don't have it anymore. So it was a revamp. I was gonna give the original version, or remake the original version, but I thought to myself I could do better than that. So that was what this was. Why fold up his tail? Why didn't you let it hang down? I don't know. I just did it. You could definitely fold it down if you wanted to. So yeah, let me go ahead and take you through a little bit of the design process of editing a video. Let me scrap all of this and kind of start over. Okay, so when I start, this is basically all I have in the video, but this is the wrong intro, so I need a shorter intro. Some people are like, what happened to the old intro? It's still here. It's just when I have the separate intro for the individual series, I like to have a shorter one, just so you're not spending a whole minute watching an intro. Do I intend on revamping all the 30-minute MOCs? No, but I will say that I made it a personal goal for all the 30-minute MOCs to appear again in some fashion. and that may or may not occur in this next episode, all of them. So that's kind of a tall order, but you'll know it when you see it. Sorry. I'm not the best multitasker in the world, so let me turn this music down for a minute, because I can't focus with it going on. Okay, we'll turn it back in a little bit. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to edit for a little while, and then I'm going to, we'll just take questions and we'll just hang out for the last little while, because this is kind of hard to do both. Will I show you how to build this? Absolutely. I actually already have that recorded, so this will be the next Let's Build video. I'm going to show you how to build the entire thing, the entire parts list, everything. So, and then from that point forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have polls every like once a month. We're going to have a monthly build. And there'll be essentially 3 options. I'll pick 3 sets that I feel like either a lot of people want to know how to build or would be easy for me to show you how to build. And then I'll have a 4th option that says, like, surprise me. So if enough people choose surprise me, I'll choose something completely off the cuff, something completely unexpected, nothing that was on the poll. And then that'll just be the monthly build. Dalkarok. Do you have passion for sunsets in the Australian plains? I've never been to Australia, Morgan Freeman, but I would like to. Okay, so let me get back to work here. So I'm going to ignore you guys just for a little bit. Feel free to continue to comment, but I'm going to focus on editing just for a little while. So, oops. So here's the intro you all know and see frequently. They're already pre-edited, so I just put them in. And let me know if this is too loud as well. I can make small adjustments to that. So there's no special cinematic this time around. I'm just going to use the footage I have. Taking out all the audio, because you don't want to hear me sniffling while you're watching a video. So these are the 3 poses. Usually, I have a kind of formula for 30-minute MOCs. Or not 30-minute MOCs, sorry, I got that in my brain right now. For MOC showcases, essentially it goes, well, you know exactly how it goes. It goes about 3 poses, and then we go to powers and tools, and then we go to functions and posability, and then size comparison. So really, I really want these videos to show, not tell, what they're all about. And that's kind of a little spoiler of the action feature. Take a look at that. I think it works so much better than the original as well. I love, love, love how that works. So that's actually the wrong clip though, so let's get rid of that and pull up the right one. We also have to decide what song we're going to use, and I'm going to let you guys decide that. Let me go ahead and... And again, I apologize if this isn't the most entertaining video that I could have done, but it's practice. So these are the poses. Ooh, I really like this pose. Check this pose out. I thought that one was really cool. I imagine he's running with a pack. So before I get too far into this, this is called the Rakar Alpha. So in the Bionicle world, this exists with the regular Rakar raptors running around. Every once in a while, an alpha is born, kind of like an alpha wolf, and he's the pack leader. So he leads the other Rakar around, and whatever devious activities they do, he leads them. So yeah, so these are the poses. Oh, I might have filmed 4 poses. This was actually filmed almost a month ago now, so I apologize for not getting this video out sooner. Okay, no, this is posing, so we can save that. So these are our 3, 1, 2, 3. Those are our 3 action shots in the beginning. So some people always ask me how are they so white? As you can tell in this video, the background is far from white. I'm editing on Adobe Premiere. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the background more white. And we do that, you're going to miss a lot of these steps, but essentially what I do is I use the levels function and I bring up the whites. So you'll see pretty stark difference there. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to pull it out of this program. You won't see this, but I'm going to pull it out of this program and make sure that the whites are true whites. And while I do that, I'll crank up the music again. Sorry, just be a second. Yeah, editing isn't the most glamorous thing in the world. The end result usually is pretty nice, but the actual process is really long. Okay, so I'm really far off from pure white on that. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna fix that even more. Let's try that one out. Okay, that's much better. We are much closer. Okay, let me move it just a hair up from that. And then we'll counterbalance the blacks a little bit. I think that's pretty smooth. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So then we're gonna apply it to all our other clips. And my dog is barking in the background. That's the real Frenic. Do I consider making a steampunk MOC? Yes, yes, I really do want to make one. That's really hard, so we'll have to see. Hey Tim, how's it going? Let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick our music. Let me pause this again. And like I said, yeah, that's my dog, so he barks a lot. That's why I have to edit my videos very thoroughly before I finish. And that's also why I had to make my own studio to avoid his barking. Okay, so let's find some music. As you guys know, I don't have a huge palette for music. Let's see here. I wonder if the Star Wars one. Let's see. Evil stands defiant. I don't know, I don't consider Rakars evil. They're just... what was the original song I used? Oh, I think I know what it was. Sorry. Again, apologies for... This is kind of stream of consciousness, and I'm not really focused. Why not much music? I'm trying to find... because I pay for my music, so that I don't have to deal with copyright, so any money I earn on my ads and videos, I get to keep. Okay, well I used the original Play Stippling soundtrack for that, so don't know that I want to do that. What's this one? That's the new one. Could always do the classic. No, it's boring. A little too intense, maybe? That's always my nature song. I'm also looking in the comments, hoping someone helps me decide. Oh my god, why can't you respond to me, but you do to everybody else? I'm sorry, Susie. Hello. Did I pick a challenge yet? No. I do want to do a 30-minute MOCs live stream. That's kind of the ultimate goal, so keep that in mind. So if you like this, then you'll probably like that more. What's this one? I already played that one. You also realize I'm very indecisive. Little things like deciding what song. Oh, that's 30-minute MOCs. Take up a lot of time. I think I'm gonna use this one. Please make a plesiosaur rock theme for the video. Why haven't you mentioned me yet? Hello, Kyler. Kyler Nuva135, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. Dude, 30-minute MOC, please. You should use Jurassic Park music. Hi, hello, Sepulka from Russia. Spala's cousin is my MOC. When do you take apart your Makuta? Probably will be after this episode 12. Do you play Overwatch in your spare time? No, I want to, though. All my friends do. Hey, I love your channel. Thanks, Scourge. Please shout out my channel. I have a huge tray of Pebble cookies for eTalk if you do. Hugger224, everyone. What's your favorite MOC? Stipalu is my favorite MOC, of mine at least. Okay, I'm gonna use this song. Wait, what's this one? No, none of those apply. Like, I have very limited 30-minute MOC. Maybe I'll just steal a royalty-free one. How about that? Does that sound good? Here's what I'm gonna do. So that you guys aren't completely bored, I'm going to just let, how long is this? 4 minutes. I'll just let this run in the background. YouTube. By the way, if you do make videos, YouTube has a lot of free music you can use, and it sounds lame, but sometimes you can find some more obscure songs, and they'll be pretty good. Oh, that's really loud. No, I don't really have anything that I want to use here either. Oh, I have one more place I can look. Let's see. What's this one? Nope, that's 30-minute MOC stuff. That's secret, super secret stuff. Oh, I should use this. No, that will not work. I'm very tempted in this stream to just scrap everything and just like start hanging out with you guys because I feel like I'm missing out, but I'm gonna try to get a little bit of this done. We're gonna use the dubstep song. I find it boring at times, but that's probably just because I've had it too long. Wait. No, there's. I'll use this one. See, I take forever to make decisions. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the actual video editing process. I try to pick a default pose as my primary pose. Oops, that was the wrong button. Boy, that doesn't mess things up for you guys. Doing a Kimu mech, I've seen that a couple times. Ow. Can I speak another language? I've been trying to learn Danish a little bit, but in case Lego hires me, but that hasn't worked out so well. Why haven't you made 30-minute MOCs in such a long time? Because my season finale is really, really complicated, and I immediately regret committing to such a complicated task, but I finish what I start, so that's why. Who would win, Stippling or my MOC? Well, Stippling is me, and I wouldn't stand a chance against a MOC. Okay. Back to work, back to work, back to work. Focus, Stippling, focus. Okay. So we are looking for fast blur, because that's what we do here at Play Stippling. We fast blur everything for dramatic effect. We also need a white matte for the background. Where are you, white matte? There you are. Okay. And this will probably be too loud, maybe. Wait, no, that does not work. I got an idea though. We'll start it here. And instead of doing that, oh, Stippling. Stippling isn't as strong as some people might think. He's kind of a wimp. So we need to remove that fast blur I just did. We're gonna do a speed into this, so that's where I want to end up. But we'll start. And sorry for the weird noises. That's just kind of how editing is. Speed duration. I don't know what you guys are gonna see and what you're not gonna see. So if there's anything weird going on, please feel free to tell me. And I apologize, you're kind of missing out on some of the... If you're here to watch how to edit videos, you're probably going to be disappointed because you can't see a lot of what I'm doing. But if you're just here to hang out, then you might have a good time. And I also apologize for apologizing too much. I think it's because my dad was born in Canada. I tend to apologize more than I ought to. I'm also, if you can't tell, not the most eloquent speaker. I often have to script what I do to help me because I don't know. I get distracted too easy. I get so ingrained in what I'm working on, I don't focus on what I'm saying. Close. We're almost there. I think if I speed this up a little more. And yes, I'm obsessed with timing. I think timing is everything with video editing, especially when it comes to integrating with the music. If you can time a moment with a sound, it's so powerful and makes such a difference that people will appreciate it a lot more without even realizing it, just subconsciously. Just the timing of everything. See, I'm not quite there. I think there's where I need it. So I need to go even faster. What is happening? What is happening is I'm editing a video. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do about a 30, depending on if everyone likes this or not, I'll keep going, or if everyone's bored, I'll switch to do something else. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. It'd be too loud though. No, that was fine. This is too loud. And you can see how much goes into just a little video like this. Go with the more dramatic pose next. You'd be surprised how hard it is to center the camera with the center of rotation for these things. It's really hard. So there's a lot of like footage of me just trying to get things centered, and then I also really try to make sure everything's on screen and doesn't like cut off the edge, so that I can screen capture and things like that. So it gets tricky. Yeah. What are the gold feet from? I don't remember what set the gold feet are from. I know they were... I think they were a system set, if I'm not mistaken. But I got them from Bricklink, so... I didn't have them when I made the original. I probably would have used them if I had them in the original. Okay, let's see what we got so far. Favorite MOC besides Stippling? In terms of actually building MOCs, like in quality of them, I really like what I did with Aerowar. I don't think he's 100%, but the action feature's a lot of fun to play with, so he's cool. One of my favorites for sure. Let's see here. We need this one. Oh, I think I messed something up here. Fast blur. This fast blur is wrong. I think that's why it looked funky to me. There we go. Did I win the Makuta contest? No, I did not win the Makuta contest. I didn't win the contest. I didn't win the like little special prize. So, nope. Would I marry Skull Scorpio? No, but I do appreciate the design of the technical element of it. That was pretty impressive. Definitely not ignoring anyone, I just trying to balance time between actually editing this video and talking. Who is better, Stippling or Jang? Survey says Jang. Just because he's got a lot more followers. But he's been doing it longer, so I can give him credit. He's a good guy. How do you animate your characters in videos? I take a lot of still images and then I put them together. How do you make all the voices for your characters? I use Audacity mostly for editing. Most of my characters are pretty much just my own voice, so Stippling, I just kind of bring it up a bit and a little more, like puff out my chest. E-Talk, I kind of sit lower and rasp my voice a bit. Those are pretty much the three characters I have to do consistently. Rupahu, I've only done a couple times. He really hurts my throat when I do it, so Stippling is like I'm a little embarrassed to do it, but he's kind of like this. He talks very profound and he has his opinions and his own agendas, and he just talks and says what he thinks. E-Talk is a little lower. You bring him down like this. He's very bassy like this, and I do manipulate E-Talk's voice a little bit. I drop the pitch a bit when I do it. And then Rupahu, he's more like this. He talks very high. And I do manipulate his voice a little bit higher even. Any Dragon Ball Z fans, which I'm admittedly not a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan, but I think of Frieza when I do that voice, so I try to do like really high pitch, almost I don't know the appropriate word for it, but he's almost beyond gender. He could go either way. That's a horrible way to describe it, but that's kind of where it was. How was my day? My day is going well. I haven't done much yet though. It's pretty early. How many frames per second do you use for stop motion? I really don't do a good job with that. I do very, very little. I think you're supposed to do 30 or at least 24 or 16 or something like that. I do almost none. Mine is a very stylized version of stop motion. Depending on how complicated the shot is, like for example, if they're just turning their heads, I'll do 3 frames. I'll do them looking in one direction, the transition, and then the end. But my trick is I dissolve them together, so it'll make it look like they're turning their heads when they're not necessarily. Androgynous, thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Androgynous. The dog face reveal. I did check out my Instagram. I have a picture of an early prototype of Frennick next to my actual dog. Giveaway, I don't know that I would do. It's kind of complicated. I am going to do merchandise though. That sounds very conceited, but I have posters that I've got printed. So you can look out for those if you're interested in posters or any kind of play stippling items. That's something I'm looking into very much so. I'm kind of bored of editing this. I'm going to do it. Let me show you guys the remainder of the footage, and then we'll move on to something else, because I don't feel like editing. You guys aren't here to see me edit videos. You're here to talk. So let me pull up what's left to show you, and then you'll see this video out in the next day or so. I probably, knowing me, happy birthday to me, I'll probably end up working on this video. Here's a size comparison. Oh shoot, you can't see that. I'll have to pull it up here. Let me turn the music back on too, so you're not listening to silence. Where is that? I still use Windows Media Player for music. I need to get with the times. That's my actual music, which I wish I could play regular music, but then the corporations would eat me alive. Okay. Music. Okay, so this is a size comparison between Rakar Alpha and Ikir. I don't have them fighting in this pose, just for a size comparison, because a real size comparison I wanted to show was with my original Rakar, which I did show earlier, but I'm going to show that again. He's actually pretty much the same size. He's just more compact, and I think he's gorgeous looking by comparison. I really dislike. You can even see the rubber band on the original one, whereas this one I was able to hide it very effectively. Here's some poses. This is the original Rakar kicking new Rakar's face, or I guess slapping it with his tail. I really liked this one. I wish I'd done this. Rakar Alpha should have done this to the little guy, but oh well, that's a cool pose. And the other pose I've got planned is this one, which is, he looks almost like a scorpion. He's kind of just overwhelming him with his pure awesomeness, and he's falling over. He looks really silly. see if you get a good shot of that. Yeah, he looks really silly right there. I'll just let that play out. I'm glad I'm not the only one that likes the new one better, but yeah. I mean, the new one, you could take the elements of the old one, so if you liked the color scheme of the old one, you could definitely supplant any of those colors. If you want more black than gold, the new one could definitely do that. So it's a pure win in my book. It's just a better figure, and I'm very happy that it turned out as good as it did. And I'm sorry it's not as exciting as something brand new, but it is cool. I think that's all the shots I have. There's the whole moving him around thing. Let me show that again. This is me manipulating him a bit. Will I ever do a diorama with all my MOCs? Yeah, I'm going to. I don't know if you heard, one of the reasons 30-minute MOCs was delayed was because I needed a space to actually film this stuff. I was filming it in my bedroom. I had a little corner walled off for play stippling stuff, and it was getting out of hand. There was just too much going on all at once. So the video disappeared or something. Oh, okay, never mind. So I took one of our guest bedrooms and completely redid it, painted it, decorated it, and it's now my play stippling studio. So I'm gonna do a reveal of that, and when I do, I'll showcase everything I have, the MOCs that have survived, the MOCs that have not survived, etc. So you'll see pretty much everything I've got. Yeah. And let's keep going here. I think that's the end of that. So yeah, I didn't really film all that much because this didn't really have much to it. Oops, dropped my iPad. My iPad is my way of watching the chat, so I can talk with you guys. So yeah, this is the functions and posability stuff. Most of this, I mean, this is you can see, this will probably be condensed to 20 or 30 seconds, but the actual footage is 4 minutes long. So you can see I do a pretty good job of trimming it down. When will I post the Makuta disassembly? I'm going to do that sometime after the 30-minute MOC. I'm not gonna give anything away, but I don't have the time to disassemble it right now. I have been cheating and taking pieces from him, so I'm gonna have to replace those before I do it. Will I be doing the story still? Absolutely. Music names, I don't give those out unless I have to. That way I can kind of keep things original. I have a whole thing. If you don't know by now, and it's still very much a work in progress, there is a playstippling.com, and I do answer the question about music in the FAQ section. But mainly the reasoning for it is I don't want to see that music everywhere, which is kind of bad for the person who made the music, but it's good for me. I take a lot of time with what I do, and I've kind of created a brand out of everything in general, so I want to keep the music where it is now and not have it on every LEGO channel out there. Give the Ricars lower jaws. Yeah, I could do that. It's possible. What software am I using to stream this? I'm using OBX. It took a lot of customization to get it to work with Adobe Premiere, but I was able to do that pretty effectively. I think you should make an alpha of every MOC creature. That would be cool. Definitely not something I'm opposed to. One thing I really would like to do is go back and redo all my protectors, because those were literally my first MOCs I ever made, so they're not that great. I would keep their core concepts, but I just would rebuild them better. Will we be able to meet you ever? Probably, statistically not, but I might someday go to conventions and stuff. I don't know. It just depends. I don't really have that kind of popularity to warrant that. I'm not going to get a big audience gathering around me to come see me, so I don't know. Why aren't I answering? What question did I miss? Sorry. What are your opinion on Mixels? They were really cool. If they stuck around and weren't canceled with Bionicle, I probably would do them on my channel. but since they were canceled, I can't really. I appreciate any kind of ball and socket based Lego system. Can I hug Etalk Stippling? Yes, you can. Am I planning on doing a non-building season finale for the 30-minute MOC season? Yeah, there won't be a build in that. That's going to be the last episode that does that. I have ideas for season 2, how I'm going to build, even though, like, for example, if it's a cinematic-based episode, I'm still gonna build in those episodes. I just have to work out exactly how it'll make sense. It has to make sense. You think gold white horns would look better? That was the original plan. I didn't have them, so I was going to order them on Bricklink, but I put those black ones in as placeholders, and I ended up really liking the contrast. Black almost became the tertiary color of the color scheme, so it could go either way. I know some people won't like the black as much, but some will like the fact that it stands out. Okay, so I think let's do some Q&A stuff. I'm going to put up a different screen real quick, and I'll just focus on talking with you guys and not worrying so much about what's on the screen. Okay, you thought the Protector MOCs were awesome. Yeah, I like them too. I like the concepts of most of them. They just were I was testing my limits when I was building them, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just putting parts together. Now I feel like I have a better understanding of building, and I think I could do a better job without drastically changing them. Will Stipalu get a girlfriend? No comment. Are you going to do any more art challenges for the fans, or still looking for more artists? I'm not looking for artists anymore. I'm still accepting artwork, though. At the very least, I would post them on my website, and which check out again, playstippling.com. I have a lot of really cool ideas for playstippling.com. It's just too many cool ideas, not enough time. I know this song is always so much louder than the other songs. I don't know why. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool things. There's gonna be a lot of stuff on playstippling.com that you won't ever see on YouTube. Not necessarily videos, but backstory. Like, for example, there's gonna be a whole section on Stipalu's mask. What is his mask? Where did it come from? Why is it relevant? Why is it significant? These are things I just don't have time to go over. How do you name your MOCs? It really depends on the MOC. When I first started, what I would do is I would look up similar words in Latin and in Maori, which was the initial language they used when they named the characters of Bionicle, and I would try to mesh them into some kind of Frankenstein's monster of words. Sometimes it would just come to me, like Iriti. That was just a name. It just came to me. I just named it. Whereas Gonu? No, it wasn't Gonu. It was Maku, the monkey. I think that's literally just stolen from the Maori dictionary. I think I might have added a letter or removed a letter. Now I tend to lean more towards just making them up off the top of my head. Rupahu, which was actually, believe it or not, my first MOC ever. Not the one you've seen, but the original. That one is literally just, I think it's literally the word deceiver in Maori. Yeah, there's backstory on the website. It's not there yet, though. I'm still writing stuff, and a lot of the stuff is contingent on the information you're going to find out in episode 12. So I can't really put it on the website until after I air a lot of the stuff I have planned is stalled because of this darn episode. So I'm working really hard on it. I promise. Let's see. Do you know that you can erase Lego printings? Yeah, I've heard you can use literally an eraser. I haven't tried it yet, though. Can I use some or all of your MOCs in my stories? Yeah, definitely. Just if you're going to publish them or post them, just make sure you reference back to me some way. Make an enemy for Yalgarok. Yalgarok is the word enemy. He's very scary. Where did the name Play Stippling come from? I think I covered that. It's Stippling is my online name. Play gave me opportunities to do things other than just Lego. I didn't want to be Lego Stippling because then I'd be stuck with Lego if it didn't work out. Any advice on starting a YouTube channel on Lego? I got that from GeckoChamp345. I have an account on TTV, which is quite popular, and I would like to branch out. It's different for everyone. People will give you advice on what you should do, how you should do it, how you'll get subscribers. It's a work in progress. You just have to take every opportunity you can to advance yourself without demeaning yourself, if that makes sense. So, for example, don't go to every Bionicle YouTube channel and post, hey, look at my videos, but do take advantage of opportunities when you have them. So, if there's a big thread on TTV asking about new Bionicle channels, post yours, that's okay. If you see sets at Walmart that shouldn't be out yet, buy them and review them. Things like that. Take advantage of opportunities, but even more importantly than that, find a style that suits you and stay true to that. It's okay when you're getting started to emulate other channels that you are interested in, because at some core, things that you're interested in are a reflection of who you are as an individual. But at some point, you have to diversify yourself and think of something that will make people want to come to you. Because if all you are is an emulation of your admirations, then there's no reason for others to watch you, because they're better off going and watching what inspired you in the first place, because it's probably a better version of your emulation. But if you, like I said, if you can make it your own in some way, or come up with something special or unique to you to make people come back to you, it's going to be a powerful thing. And I think a lot of that comes just from the passion for what you're doing. If you're just doing it for views, if you're just doing it for clicks, if you're just doing it because you want to feel important, you probably won't get that. But, like, for example, when I started because I would make little characters by myself, just sitting alone, making the characters. I'd show them to my girlfriend, she'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool, I like it. And then that would be it. I mean, I had nothing. I would just put them on the shelf and then they'd just disappear. And I felt like I needed a way to get feedback. And that's kind of how it started for me. So it has to be more than just wanting to get famous, or wanting money, or wanting celebrity status, whatever it is, whatever the greed impulse is, that's a good motivator. Money's a great motivator, fame is a great motivator, but if that's all there is, people will see through that. And that's my little rant. I'll get back to other questions. Let's see. Oh, a lot has happened while I was ranting. Okay. What's your Instagram account, Stippling? Let's see. I don't even remember. I just post on it. It's play_Stippling. Oh, hey, Tolerant. I saw you were one of the winners for the Makuta challenge. Yeah, you definitely... I think you'd be fine if you made a channel. People would definitely watch your stuff. What protector MOC that you've made is your favorite? Kiuri is probably my favorite. I think she was one of my later ones I made, and I think she turned out the best. Oh, thank you, Thatch. Yeah, the website's coming along. If you pull it up on your phone or anything that runs it on mobile, it's gonna look terrible, so don't even bother right now. But if you have a desktop or a laptop, it's coming along. It's gonna be cool when it's done. Can you make a Gen 2 of Toa Inika? Probably not. How many MOCs do you have? Pretty much you've seen them all, except a couple that you'll see in episode 12. That's another, like, I get this question a lot. Why is episode 12 taking so long? There's so much involved in it beyond just episode 12. Episode 11 was good. I think it turned out well, but there's a lot of pressure to make episode 12. Everything I've done from 1 to 11 hinges on 12. So if I can't cut any corners with it. I can't leave any stone unturned. So it really has to be just right. And a lot of that is just mental preparation. It's getting yourself in the right mindset to get things done, but also I had to create sets for filming. I had to test things. I had to make the characters that were in the scripts that I can't show you because they haven't been released yet. So it took a lot to prepare. How long will it be? I don't know. It'll definitely be longer than 11, and there will be a lot more emphasis on combat, I guess. There's going to be actual fights. I had to rewrite the script. That was another reason that made it take longer. The resolution to episode 12 hinged a lot on vocal conflict resolution because I was afraid to do a fight scene. There's a lot of talking, and I realized that kind of cheapened the experience. So I went back and redid a lot of that so that it has a more... You expect, with all of this tension and build-up, that there would actually be some kind of physical resolution, and I think the fans deserved that. And I hate to call you fans, I feel like that's kind of demeaning, but yeah, so that's, I mean, I had to learn how to do a fight scene, so that took a little bit of practice. Try to say my name if you think around. Konihis. When do you think it will come out? Every time I predict it, I'm always wrong. I have no idea. Not in the near future. But hopefully I'll have something to show soon. Will Stippling get bigger? He will experience a lot of change in this last episode. He's gone through some stuff. Is there any chance you could do an episode with Jang or other LEGO tubers? Absolutely. I'm definitely pro collaboration. As you can tell from what I do, I like to incorporate others because it's kind of a lonely hobby if you don't. I feel like people, not to talk bad because he's a huge inspiration, but people like Jang like that isolation. I feel like they like to keep people at an arm's length. It helps them creatively to not have to worry about what others think. But it's, like I said, it's lonely. I don't think someone like Jang would ever work with someone like me. Could I get my girlfriend to make a self-mock? No, she's really bad at LEGO. She's terrible. She can't even build the regular sets. Are you filming episode 12? Yeah. I'm currently filming out of order. I'm filming the final scene, or the final real scene. There's some stuff that happens afterwards, but the big finale, like the moment people will be waiting for, I'm working on right now. It's actually a set in my kitchen. So for the last 2 weeks we've had to eat on the couch because our kitchen table is a 30-minute mock scene. Have I seen the 3 Star Wars buildable figure leaks? I've seen 2 of them. I've seen the 2 humanoid-looking characters. They look okay. What do I think about Ninjago? I know nothing about it. I know I would recognize the set if I saw it. I don't follow Ninjago at all. It seems like a cool series, but I tend to like to get into hobbies and stuff at the beginning, so by the time I was interested in LEGO again, Ninjago had been running for quite a while, and I just couldn't keep up. That's why I jumped on the Nexo Knights bandwagon as soon as it came out, because that was right up my alley. I already covered kind of mock names, mock train, but ideas, Ideas come from a variety of sources. I was talking yesterday in a chat about this. I tend to find the biggest inspiration from story. So I'll use Yalgarok for example. The thought of a boogeyman brought up a lot of ideas in my head. I mean, references to everything from Slender Man to abstract alien creatures. So I find story to be a really powerful motivator for design. Without a story, I find it really, really hard to build something. And the story can be as simple as a jungle character who wants to fly, and that went to Arrowar. So it had to be less natural than some other characters. So what he built to make himself fly is very mechanical. It's very on the mechanical side of biomechanical. He built it and it's like a backpack. So all of that, it doesn't really matter in the final product, but it all goes into consideration when you're making something. What was my first Lego set, specifically my first Bionicle set? My first Bionicle set was the original Kopaka back in 2001. Even before that, I bought that set. I got the comics in the Lego catalog, or in the Lego magazine, and Kopaka was the first character you saw in the comics. So, of course, me being susceptible to media influence, that was the first one I wanted. Would I make an enemy to Stippling? Maybe I already have. Could I build a self-mock for my girlfriend? I'll leave that one. I'll say wait and see. JT Studios. Hey Stippling, how have you been? I've been well, thanks. Is pasta a good food? My girlfriend thinks so. She asks me to make it all the time. What was my first mock? Other than the crazy mess of stuff I made as a kid, my first real mock as an adult was Rupahu, the original. You can see a little tiny sample of him at the end of his MOC Showcase of the original. I had some footage. Hero Factory or Bionicle Gen 2? Bionicle Gen 2 with the devotion to the brand that Hero Factory got. I think Hero Factory they took a lot more gambles with it. Bionicle almost felt like, I don't know, like they were releasing another series of minifigs to buy. Like the product was it. Go away. Here it is. Can I make a pizza mock? What would be the pepperoni? I'm trying to think how I'd make pepperoni. I don't know, I hate pepperoni, but when I think of pizza, I think of pepperoni, so I'd have to have some kind of pepperoni. How old am I? I am 25. I will be 26 in 24 hours. Can I break dance? No. What is my opinion about Generation 3 happening? I don't think it's gonna happen. I think our best hope is that they come up with something better. Do I do sketches for ideas? No, I'm not the best artist in the world. I can draw in hindsight. I can draw things that have already been made, but from my brain to pen, it doesn't. It looks pretty bad. I do. This isn't what you asked, but I do script and sketch scenes for videos, especially 30-minute mocks. Mostly just these last 2 episodes, but sometimes it helps to have a visual. Gen 2 Makuta. I didn't like that he turned red. That made no sense to me. That's pretty much that was my first thought, and that's pretty much where I left it. I just was like, why is Makuta red? Oh, thank you for the happy early birthdays. Have I ever met a fellow YouTuber or viewer? Not BioTuber, no. I live with a fellow YouTuber, so. What is my opinion on this generation's songs? I think there's a lot of great music out there. I think there's a lot of terrible music too. And I also think what I think is terrible might be the great music to others. Have I ever thought of making doppelgangers for Etox, Stippling, and any of your other heroes? Doppelganger, I guess, wouldn't be the term I would use, but I definitely like the idea of playing around with how they look. So, I mean, it's Lego, so Stippling shouldn't always look exactly the same. I can change them. Will I ever do a video series relating to your dog in real life? Not a video series, no, I don't think so. But I will say Season 2 of 30-Minute MOCs is going to escape some of the traditional boundaries that Season 1 had. For example, I might actually go outside. I don't want to get too much into it, but a lot of the plot will take place away from the comforts of home. But there will still be building. Will I ever use a 3D printed mask in a mock? Yeah, I would. If it was good enough, I guess. I don't have a problem with 3D printing. I have a problem with the material they use. It's just so far off. I don't like using manipulated parts in my official mocks, but in terms of like characters for story, I'm a little more lenient. Like you saw in episode 11, I had a cut mask. I don't like cheating in that way. I feel like it's cheating if you manipulate. Mask not so much, I guess, because you just kind of put it on top at the end. But if I was to cut something shorter or change the way something connects to my benefit, I feel like that's kind of cheating and defeats the purpose of building. Who would win, me or Stupalu? He's really small in real life. I'm pretty big, so I'd probably win. Could I make a Cyclops mock? I guess. At some point. Will I let my dog make a mock? No. He's actually really good with Lego, but occasionally I will find parts under my bed chewed up, so. Any recommendation on larger CCBS mocks? Still learning myself, honestly, how to do it. I think you should look to what's been done and try to emulate and expand upon that. From there, experimentation. I will say feet play an important role in the stability of larger mocks. Sometimes you have to go larger than you want to with feet, because the more surface area you have on the table, or whatever surface it's on, the more likely it'll stand. And then you have to make sure that the friction in the legs, and this is all probably pretty obvious, but the friction in the legs have to counterbalance the weight of everything above it. So the more you can slim out the top, the less strength the legs will need to operate. And therefore the less surface area you'll need on the feet. So it really, the top determines the legs, and then the legs and the top determine the feet. If Stupalu would be a living being, how tall would he be? He'd probably be about as, if you look at the outros of my videos, the most recent ones, you can kind of see how I perceive him if he was real. He's probably like a head and let me pull it up and see how big he is. Actually, I can do one better. I can show you if I can hit the right buttons. I need, what do I need? I need this. That would be a rough size comparison if the little me is 6 feet tall, because that's about, I'm 5'11" or 6, depending on what shoes I'm wearing. Do you think you'll make a mock with no armor pieces? I guess it's possible. I don't know. I don't rule out anything, but I don't have any specific plans. What do I think about the Lego Batman movie? I'll probably go see it. It looks funny. I should make a singing Toa, but must sing through the entire build. Yeah, you don't. I guess I am pretty good at singing, but I don't think I would do it. Can I make a serial killer mock? Might be a little harsh, but I will definitely make some more seedy characters. They're not all gonna be happy. What's your favorite pastime besides Lego? I like a little bit of everything. I said earlier in the stream that I'm a big video gamer. That's kind of been a defining characteristic of me for a long time, so I game a lot. Prior to the Play Stippling channel, I was heavily into gaming. I actually used Play Stippling as an outlet to quit gaming and take a break because I was staying up way too late and showing up to work late. So I needed a new hobby. Other than that, I enjoy going on walks a lot. I walk my dog very frequently, and I get a lot of inspiration from that, and peace and clarity from that. This is kind of in tandem with Lego, but I really do enjoy video editing. It's a huge passion of mine, and it's a nice break. It's kind of the whole Play Stippling thing is kind of its own genre of hobbies, because I've got the aspect of building, I've got the aspect of storytelling, and then I've got video editing, socializing. There's just so many different things I can do that it never gets boring, and it's the first hobby I've had where there's always something to do, and if I don't want to do that, there's something else I can do related to it that will interest me. I'm a PC gamer. I don't play much right now that is of interest. I'm a little hesitant to get too far into what I've played in the past because I don't know what's out there, but MMOs. I liked MMOs a lot. I was very successful at those. Do I speak French? No. I do not speak French. Bye, Thomas Dude 70. It's good seeing you. Should you give me a shout out on your channel? If you want to. Do I play Pokemon? Yes, I play Pokemon Go on all of my walks. I played Pokemon on and off my whole life. It's a fun game. It's not that exciting at times, but it can be very exciting at times. Can I make a dragon mock? Yes, I've built many prototypes that have been taken apart. What is my favorite animal in the world? Dogs. Other than dogs, foxes. I joke that it's my spirit animal if I knew what a spirit animal was. I feel like foxes are very cool. Can I make more animals? Yeah, definitely. I like making animals. Make pasta mocks. I don't know what that is. Have I ever played Destiny? No, I haven't. Do you have a sport or martial art? I'm not very athletic. I guess everyone has their flaws. Mine would be that I'm not all that coordinated. What is my daytime job when not doing videos? Let's see. How can I make a politician answer out of this? When I started Play Stippling, I had a full 9-to-5 job, so I would pretty much do that all day and then come home and do this. Since then, I've relaxed my workload a bit, trying to find something that, I don't know, you reach a point in your life when you hit a crossroads where you have to decide whether you're going to do what's safe or what's something that might be fulfilling. Hopefully you can find both. Right now I can't, so I've taken the route of trying to find something more fulfilling in my life. So I'm doing a lot of smaller jobs that give me more meaning. That's pretty much. I don't want to get into specifics. I do a lot with kids, but that's about all I want to say. Are you a car guy? No, but I do have a pretty cool car. My car will be in one of the videos at some point. Is there any way we can chat privately on a website like Skype? I do email. If you want to talk with me over email, I do have one-on-one conversations. I'm not huge into Skype. I don't know. Maybe if it would have to be someone I would like. I Skype close people who are close to me and people who have been really helpful to the channel. So I guess if you become that, Skype would be possible. Can you make Akimu evil? I think Akimu should have been evil to begin with. I think it would have been more interesting if Makuta was the good guy and the Toa were misled, so they had to figure out that truth, accept that truth, and then completely fight the opposite battle at the end. I think that would have been a great twist. Do I believe in love? Yes. Yes, I believe in love. Will I ever review my face? This is the second time. Will I review my face? No. It's not a beauty channel, but I will. You will see my face at some point when it's relevant. There's the blindfold challenge in the 30-minute mock bin that hasn't been done, so I plan on having a sub camera showing my face blindfolded as proof that I'm not cheating. So you might not see my eyes, but you'll see my face. Yeah, Lucas, I've wanted to do martial arts. Money's kind of tight right now, and that kind of stuff's expensive. But someday I'd like to do some kind of more physical hobby because I think it's important. It's an outlet I don't tap into enough. Are you guys bored with this, or should I? I mean, I can do other things other than just answer questions. I don't feel like this is that entertaining, but it might be for some people. Can Stippling do a gaming video? No, but I do want to. I still am committed to Stippling having his own video series, but I'm trying to prioritize what I've promised previously, so that's kind of my focus right now. Should I make pebble cookies for Etalk? Yes, absolutely. Etalk would love them. Where do I work? I don't know where you work. And again, I'm sorry if I miss comments. I kind of it's distracting, all the messages coming through, so when I decide to answer a question, I kind of look up. So if I missed you and it's something really, really important to you, just, I guess, say it again. Can I sing now? No, my throat hurts. I've been sick the past 2 weeks, so that's also been hard. It's hard to record a video when you're sick. Can Stippling do a reaction video? What would he react to? And then would it be satisfying because his face doesn't move? So he wouldn't have any kind of expressions. What's my favorite Bionicle function? Probably Puku, the little crab thing. I've tried on multiple occasions to recreate that and make it look good, but so far, no luck. Have I thought about doing a more story-based series? Yes and no. I'd like to. As you can tell, my current commitments aren't really being fulfilled as well as I'd like, so I want to make sure that I can deliver on what I promised before I expand out too far. Yeah, I'm gonna. Chase4 Creation said you should set up a camera and just hang out and mock sometime. That's the long-term plan of this. I wanted to edit a video, so that's why I did this. I don't have a setup for that just yet for mocking and talking. Oh, there's the name of the series. I've been trying to think of what to call it. Mocking and talking. That sounds great. But yeah, when I get that set up, I probably won't do. When I live stream, it won't be this because this is boring. I'll build and stuff. But yeah, that's the plan. Do I remember you from Instagram? Yes, I do. Favorite music? I like, depends on my mood. When I'm building, I like music like you hear on the Play Stippling channel, but a little bit more relaxed, so I listen to a lot of chill step. But when I'm just listening to music, I tend to lean towards more punk alternative music. Planning any collabs? No, but I wouldn't mind doing collabs. It would just have to be something, I don't know, I always thought it'd be cool to like build half a MOC and then mail it to someone and have them build the other half, but I know there's a lot of people that would want that, but I don't know if I could do that for everyone. It would have to be like a contest or something, I don't know. Do I watch Pokemon? No. I watched the original series, but I haven't watched it in a long time. Will you ever do hands-on MOC review? Not sure what that means. Oh, MOC review. Oh, that's kind of what the Capstone series is. I feel like reviewing your own MOCs is kind of self-gratifying, I guess. Just talking about how great everything is. So that's why when I show my own MOCs, I don't talk. Because, of course, I think it's great. What's my favorite color? You won't believe this. It's actually blue. But do I remember you from comments? Yes, Lucas, I definitely remember you. We've talked a lot. Can I show my whole MOC collection? Yeah, I will. I'm gonna show my studio setup and everything after episode 12. Are you planning on building a transforming MOC? No. No plans to do that. I kind of like my MOCs to be sturdy, I guess. The thought of them having to, I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I don't really know the answer to that. Yeah, you would think it'd be red or white, but I do like red a lot. But blue is probably my favorite. I think it's the prettiest color, at least. How did Makuta the Martyr do? Not so good. Not so good. Can we get a sneak peek from episode 12? It's tricky to answer that question because what I'm working on right now is so spoilerific that I don't know that I could show you anything without spoiling it. Let me think about that for a minute. Can I give you a name for your ice dragon? Ice dragon. I got nothing, sorry. Are you gonna get Pokemon Sun and Moon? I leave that up to my girlfriend. I don't want to play it without her. And she doesn't commit to games for very long. She plays it for like half an hour and then quits. So if she'll play it with me, I will. If not, then I'm not going to. Besides Tapalu, which MOC of yours is your favorite? I think Airwar is what I said earlier, but I also really like... It's hard. Again, this is the self-gratifying in me because I love them all. I like Frenic a lot. I wish Frenic had better posability, though. Can I show you my favorite MOC somehow and ask for your opinions on it? You can. You can email your MOC to playstippling@gmail.com, pictures of it. I'm going to be honest, though. I tend to... I gotta get back to that question. I tend to look at the positives. I'm not going to be as critical as some might want me to be, because I know what it's like to be criticized, and sometimes it's not what you're looking for, especially if you're sending it to someone who you like. So I'll tell you the good in things, but if you're looking for someone to be really critical, I probably won't be your guy. Will I do a Stipalu cooking video? No, but I really want to do an E-Talk cooking video. I don't think I'll, in a similar vein to that question, Nuvok Creations asks, will I ever review other MOCs? I don't think I want to do that. Everything I say is pending, it could change, but again, for the same reasons, I don't feel like I would be truthful. With Lego, I can be honest, because they're a company, they're a corporation. I can give you my truthful thoughts on it. With individuals, I guess I care about them. I'm a human being. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So I don't think I can do that, and I don't think I can not hurt feelings. Would I work for Lego? Yes. Yes, I would. Do I play Yu-Gi-Oh? No, I used to think it was a rip-off as a kid. I thought they were just copying Pokemon, so I vowed against it. Would I ever do collaborations? Yeah, it would have to be the right kind of collaboration, and it'd have to be someone kind of at a similar pace as me in terms of what they're producing. Would I design sets for Lego? Yes. E-Talk ruining a lasagna recipe. Yeah, Alex Best said you could have Stippling do overly critical reviews. That's something I'm looking more into, because he can kind of get away with being mean. I can't really. Will I make a paladin mock? That's kind of what Akimu is, isn't it? That's what I always thought of him. Did I read Harry Potter? This is getting deep. Yes, I've read all the Harry Potter books. Will I make a Ninjago mock? Or Ninja mock? Maybe. I have some ideas. What are my thoughts about red and blue pins? I used to hate them, and then I built K2SO, and I missed them. Where do I get my inspiration? Guess it depends on... I'm assuming you're talking about making Lego. So, in that regard, I get my inspiration from everywhere. Everything I do. If I'm making an animal mock, I get it from nature. If I'm making a mock from a 30-minute mock challenge, I try to envision what the idea's creator had in mind when they asked me to do it. Usually, a lot of times, ideas come in weird ways. So, for example, I had the idea of... I keep coming back to Aerowar, because that was one where his idea came from his jetpack booster thing on his back. And I was walking my dog, and all of a sudden I just had this aha moment. Had no pieces in front of me, hadn't ever even built the guy, and just the light bulb, and I knew exactly what to do. I knew what to put where, and how to put the gears together, and how to make it work. It just, everything hit me all at once. It was almost like a spiritual moment. I just was like, wow. And then I just ran home and built him in one sitting. I was just like, wow, here it is. And so it really depends. It depends on... Sometimes nothing inspires me. Sometimes I build and just have nothing to show for it. And that's kind of the unseen truth of it all. You don't always come with magic. 9 times out of 10, you end up with nothing. Will Stippling ever have a girlfriend or romantic interest? Will he or did he? Will he? I don't know. Did he? Yes. Potassium sulfate? Yeah. Yeah. That would do it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they got that from. Do I know Neo Shifters? I've heard of them, but I don't know what they are. When did I become interested in Lego? When I was a kid. I became reinterested in them recently. I don't know, when I'm building it, nothing else matters, and I can just relax, I guess. So it's really getting to use that term spiritual. I'm not a very spiritual person, but it's a very powerful feeling to let everything go and just focus so intent on something outside of the physical realm. Oh, I didn't, for collaborations, I didn't mean, I wasn't trying to sound conceited there about on par. I just mean like with similar vision in mind. Like we have to be on the same page, I guess. If someone wants to collab with me because they want to make a really cool, I don't know, Ninjago mock, I can't really help them. But if they want to make like do something, I don't. It's a case by case thing. It really would depend on what they were after and whether I had the time to budget into it. What's my favorite Pokemon? I have a lot. I like a lot of them. How much time do you spend on writing your story? It's increased over time. I spent quite a lot of time writing the script for episode 11 and 12. I wrote it all in one block and then found a place to cut it in half. As you know, where the halfway point is. A lot of it's written in my head at first, and then I just kind of jot it all down. When I was doing the later episodes of 30-minute mocks, I was writing them, filming them, building the build, talking about them, and editing them all in one day, all after an 8-hour shift at work. So something had to give. So that's why moving forward, I'm going to try to stay ahead of the game. And a lot of the delays that have been experienced in that are because of that. So I have a lot planned already. How do I feel about inspiring people who watch my channel? I've worded it a bunch of different ways. I guess humbling is the word that comes to mind, to think that what I'm doing impacts other people. It's almost beyond comprehension, and it is at the end of the day just a Lego channel, and you gotta take that in perspective. But it's cool. It keeps me going when sometimes I don't want to do this. I think if no one cared, I wouldn't be here right now. How much time did it take you to design and make Plague Beast? I don't remember, to be honest. I do remember the eureka moment on that one happened very late at night. I'd say like 3 or 4 in the morning. I woke up my girlfriend who was sleeping, and I said, "You gotta see this." And I brought it up to her, and I made him do his little dance, and then she just like made the nastiest sigh at me and went back to sleep. But I was so happy. Can I revamp Karzani? I don't want to do too many revamps on old stuff. Would I collab with a person wanting to have a mock battle? That would be hard unless one of us sent the other person their mock, and that might be kind of tough. 96 people are here? Wow, I haven't, honestly, 102 I see right now. That's a lot more than I anticipated. How do you decide what concepts to use for 30-minute mocks? I'm assuming you mean, how do I choose the suggested idea? What are my criteria? I try to pick something original, but not so specific that it would really hinder me. So it's got to have a balance between overly complex and overly simplistic. So if they said build a mock that's green, I'll probably skip it. If they said build a green Kopaka with a dual laser sword and an axe on his back, I would probably skip that one as well. But if they said build a mock that rationalizes, build an ice hero that has green in his color scheme, if there's something in there that I can work with, like if my brain goes, why would there be green, and then I can think of an answer, that might compel me to pick it. Do a rap battle. How old is Stippling? He's very old. Onua or Liwa? Liwa. Will you do Bionicle Heroes or Nexo Knights? For what? Do I play Warframe? No. What's my best mock? I think Stippling is the best mock. Just purely from a build standpoint. He's very good for... I never have a problem posing him. I never have a problem animating him. He's just very sturdy. He can balance. His biggest weakness would be in his arms, which would be something I would work on. But in terms of his infamous legs, they're good. They're sturdy. Kopaka forever over Tahu. Lua, or Lewa? Liwa. Liwa, like a leaf. Did E-Talk like my Pebble cookies? I'm sure. Will I ever do a capstone review of Rupahu the Deceiver? Pretty confident I could say yes on that one. Do I like pineapples? I like pineapples in my drinks. This is so random. But not... I don't like eating them directly. What's the name of your dog? For the sake of privacy, which sounds ridiculous, I haven't really disclosed that either. But it's very similar to Frenic. Do I like waffles? If they're cooked right, if they're burnt, I'm not a fan. Pohatu or Gali? Pohatu. Yeah. Where am I from? I am from the United States of America, on the East Coast, near the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Okay, so who wants a couple, like, exclusives? You guys want to see some exclusive stuff? Let's do that. Show you some things you've never seen before. Which sounds... I'm going to get into that. Okay, so I did a terrible job of editing today, guys. You distracted me too much. But let me turn off the music, and we'll show some stuff that might interest you. Okay. Burnt waffles. Okay, so let's pull up this wonderful thing that was made by our good friend Pacharuna Soro, our resident artist. I don't know if he'd appreciate me spoiling this, but I feel like it's a little ways off before I can show you all this. So this is going to be, as you know, I've been revamping all the intros for my series, and 30-minute MOCs is pretty important. So season 2 will have a new intro. So this is it. This is actually the first intro he ever made. So in certain aspects it's simple, but in other aspects it's amazingly awesome. So I think you'll like it. We'll see. This will be the intro that plays at every episode. So let me go ahead and play that. And play. And there's no sound. Apologies. Let's try that again. And play. And that's that. I really like it. I love that song. That's going to be an exclusive track for 30-minute MOCs. Yeah, so it'll play at the beginning and the end. That's actually an abridged version of the song. I'll play the full song for you here. Where is it? This one. Yeah, this is the full song. I really like the song because it has that more than one singer going on, because it's like a stage performance. There's multiple people or characters coming together, so it almost reminded me of like a soap opera-y kind of feeling too, because that's kind of what it is. It's overly dramatic, and some people find it to be silly or cheesy. I've heard many times, but that's kind of the point. That's the magic of it. So I really liked it. I thought it fit perfectly, and I'm glad it sounds like other people like it. Where do I get my music from? I don't make it. I buy it online. If you look up like royalty-free music, there'll be plenty of websites that come up where you have to pay for the license and then you can use them. What else can I show that's kind of secretive? Let me look around for a minute. Turn the music back on. Oh, I didn't know you were here, Patch. Or Pack. I thought you might have left. Oh, I can confirm another thing that it's not that confirmation-y, but I will say this is confirmed to be eTalk's theme song. So this is eTalk's theme song. And just for giggles, I'm gonna play the intro one more time so you can see it. My favorite 30-minute MOC was probably Yalgarok, but I also really loved the miner, with the mech suit. He's been rebuilt. I think he's been in a video already though. If Stipalo were here, would he be having a good time? No, he would be asking me to end this like hours ago or whenever we started. He probably would never have even shown up. Let's see, what else can I show? What else can I show? Something secretive. Oh, I mentioned the original Rupahu. I have that original video, and it's very embarrassing how bad it was. Actually, it's still on my YouTube, but I took it down. I'm not going to play the whole video for you, but I'll show you what he looked like. You can see how bad my setup was back then. Oh, and I will say, this might be a spoiler. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but if you've seen the new Technic sets coming out in 2017, there's a really awesome BMW motorcycle. I want to revamp that and add a motor function to it and make it Stipalu's motorcycle and have him ride around in it. So if I can do that, that'll be really cool. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll show fan art too. Let me show, what was I after first? Oh, the original video. I recently reorganized all my stuff so I can find it better. MOC Showcase, the very original. Oh, no, it's an outdated videos. Where is that? Other, outdated. Where are you? Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. Why is this not working? Worst live stream ever. Where did it go? Where did it go? Here it is. Okay, this was the original. This was the first play Stippling video ever, and I'm muting it because I'm embarrassed. That's the original Rupahu. That was my first MOC I ever made. Pretty awesome. All I had two sets. I had Skull Scorpio, and I had Pohatu, and that was it. Those were all the parts I had to work with. So that's what I made. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that he was actually the first MOC I ever made. So when I got the chance to remake him, I was pretty happy. And I think he's much better now than he was here. What puts Stipalo in such a bad mood? He's in perpetual pain from his incident. So to put it in perspective about people who say they can't mock like me or they can't build like me, this is where I started. This is this was a year ago. I think it was just a year ago. So if you try and you experiment and you play around and take some chances, you'll be able to learn a lot and you'll be able to do a lot of great things. If I presented this to you guys now, you would laugh at me. Oh, Liwa's chest. Yeah, no, I stole Liwa's chest from my official Liwa for this video, but I didn't have it an extra one, so it was a borrowed part. But it was really only Pohatu and Skull Scorpio. It's not. There's nothing wrong with this mock. It's just very basic, rudimentary. It's basically just Pohatu with a couple different pieces. Did I ever like Gen 1? Yeah, I only followed Gen 1 until about 2002, and then I kind of grew out of it. It was kind of a weird time to grow up because I grew up at the exact age they were marketing towards, and then I kind of grew out of it too quick. I collected the comics a little bit longer than I did the sets, but it was more so that I never really... We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so it wasn't like I could buy a bunch of sets as I please. So the comics were really my source of Bionicle. How much would E-Talk cost as a set? E-Talk... I don't know, what would you pay for E-Talk as a set? What did I like, Makuta Gen 1 or Matanui? I thought Matanui probably should have been gold, and Makuta looked pretty cool. How long does it take for most Bricklink hauls to arrive? It completely varies. It's completely dependent on the seller and where they're located. I've had some sellers from across the pond ship to me in a week. I've had them take 2 or 3 weeks. I've had some really local sellers take over a week to ship, so it really depends on the seller. My best advice would be look at the number of sales they've made. If it's few, you're going to have to wait a while, probably. If they sell all the time, you're probably going to get it pretty quick. $15, $20 for E-Talk set. That's what I thought as well. That's about the range I would think for to get the custom E-Talks. Because I will say, this is just chock full of spoilers, I have more E-Talks than just one. I have 4, I think, extra. So that's something that might happen. But yeah, so I do have extra E-Talks. What's my opinion on Hero Factory? I would love some Hero Factory right about now. I think it was great. I think if it came back, it would be really good because they've learned a lot since then. Do I like Ikimu or Matanui more? I didn't follow all the intricacies of Matanui, and I thought Ikimu should be a bad guy, so I don't know. It's like apples to oranges a little bit for me. What do I usually do? I wake up, eat breakfast, walk my dog, watch CNN, eat lunch, walk my dog, eat dinner, walk my dog, watch YouTube videos, play some Hearthstone, go to bed. Hugger, that's a great idea. Stippalo eating pebble cookies. Look out for that. It'll be more interesting than you think. E-Talk Army, yeah. I'm looking at them right now. They're all parted out. I have extras that I'm going to do something with that I haven't decided yet. And I have a really cool poster. I have posters to sell, if you didn't hear earlier, that I would love to have people who are interested in it buy to support. Because I didn't want to... A lot of people... I had mentioned Patreon, but I don't feel like I'm at that point yet. And I also feel like... I don't want to ask for money. I feel like that's a really bad way of supporting your channel, just like asking for cash. Definitely would help, but I think you should always get something in return for your money, even donations. So I think that offering you guys something special would be worth it. What could I show you? Let's see. Is there a MOC of Etok's father? Yes. Yes. There is a MOC of Etok's father. And he may or may not be on the poster. How long have I built Bionicle for? Since like April of 2015 I started it again. I missed all of Hero Factory. I missed the launch of Bionicle. I actually was walking my dog, reminiscing about the good old days of Bionicle, and I was looking through Brickset on my phone, and I was like, I didn't even know it had been canceled the first time. I thought Bionicle was still going on, and I was like, I'm not going to get into it because I've missed so many years. It's been almost 15 years since it came out. And then I realized not only had it been canceled, but it had been relaunched the same, like within a couple months of me looking it up. So I was like, wow, I could jump right back into Bionicle brand new and get into it again. How great is that? It was like meant to be. So I did that. And then it was canceled a year later. So thanks, Lego. Pokemon, Digimon, or Yu-Gi-Oh? Pokemon. Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh were ripoffs to me. Who is your favorite YouTube? I don't watch many Lego YouTubers. I used to. And then once I started doing my own thing, I found it to be kind of counterproductive. You either get bored because you're constantly doing your own Lego stuff, so you don't feel like watching other Lego stuff, or you start like stealing their ideas or accidentally stealing their ideas. So I don't usually watch a lot of Lego stuff, but the other videos I watch, they're, I don't really want to mention them in this. Sorry. Who's my favorite YouTuber? Again, same thing. I can't really disclose that because I have a certain brand of humor that isn't really appropriate for this. Would I make a dinosaur MOC? I did. His name's Rekar Alpha. He is a raptor. And there he is. Right there. He does a little predatory strike. Boom. He lunges. Oh, Digimon came first. Yeah, probably. Oh, more spoilery stuff. Let's see. What else can I spoilery? We'll hashtag that as a word. Running out of time. Why steal ideas? You have great ones. Well, I'm not. Stealing is a. I mean, it's hard not to subconsciously pick up on things. The more you, I'm sure things influence you in your life and day that you don't even realize. That's what advertisement's all about, to subconsciously make you think about things. How many times have you seen a hamburger commercial and then wanted a hamburger for dinner? And it's just if I avoid that kind of stuff, I can keep my stuff more original, and that's kind of what I've gone for. Do I like Pringles? Yes, but they run out too quick. Etok's dad. I don't have a... I can't spoil Etok's dad. That's too important. But, oh, I'll show you Pacherino's Rupahu artwork. Let me see if I can pull that up. I think he did a really good job. It's concealed a bit, so you won't be able to see the full work he did on it, but you will see a full Rupahu at some point. Full image of him. How do I drag that in there? Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone. Unsupported format. Okay, let's try it this way. We got an idea. I think I downloaded it the wrong way. Copy image. Am I ever going to make a Pokemon Bionicle mock? No, but a couple of my mocks were loosely inspired. I would say Plague Beast has some Scyther influences in there, for sure. Definitely where my brain was at when I was making Plague Beast. Okay, let's see if that worked. Ah, it's too zoomed in. Sorry, I'm ruining your effect. Okay. No, wrong one. There we go. That's some Rupahu. That's him brooding after Makuta locked him away, betrayed him. Have you ever thought about actually making an in-universe Bionicle story, Yalgarok, Stippling, Rupahu? Sort of. I've thought of the possibility of doing something very similar, but kind of the opposite. Creating my own world of without Bionicle, so to speak. So it would function in a similar vein as Bionicle, but without the copyright infringement. That way I can expand upon it and change it any way I please. That's something I've heavily considered moving forward, but I've been waiting to see what Lego comes up with, because if they came up with a Hero Factory-esque world where I could operate in, then I would probably just try to do that. Is the stream going to end soon? Yeah, it's probably going to end soon. Kind of running out of ideas. Will Plague Beast have any importance in your story? I think it's important. Plague Beast in general won't, but I think my Plague Beast specifically, because Plague Beast is one of many, could get its own name and its own significance, but not yet. Yes, I have a dog. Do you like chatting with some of your subs? Yeah, of course. That's what I'm doing. Will I do a face reveal? Yes, when it's relevant. Yeah, and I'm gonna post. I can post a link to his DeviantArt page. Right. Trying to figure out where I have. Oh, I forgot to do this. I was gonna do. I had so many good ideas I didn't follow through with on this stream. I'm sorry. I had some silly ones, like I was gonna do this when I started. But this will be cheering for the end. Yay! It's almost over! Yay! Yeah, I make myself laugh a lot. What kind of camera do I use? It's a Canon Vixia. It's a really cheap, like $200 camera. I really could use an upgrade, but don't have one yet. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to hide the stream like I had earlier. Do you draw your own stuff or do you have an artist? I do have an artist. His name is Pacherino Soro. He's in here as what's his name? Jack and Ray. And I linked his DeviantArt there. He helps me. He does it all to support the channel, and he's a great guy. So you definitely should support him and check him out. Would I do a how-to of yourself mock? Possibly. Why don't I use pieces from Gen 1? I do, I just don't have many. And most of them I use to build up old sets. I don't have a lot. It's just a matter of I didn't collect then, so I'm collecting now, and most of the sets that are out now only have the new pieces. How do you feel about people loving your content? I think I touched on this earlier. It's a great feeling. It makes me feel good. But for every person that loves your content, there tends to be a louder one who hates it. So it kind of, if you can take it all in and accept it for what it is, it's a pretty great feeling. But sometimes those louder, meaner voices stick with you longer. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I had a friend who had a nickname that started with Patch, so I always just say Patch. What is Etalk? Etalk is a rock. Do you still have your pumpkin you painted? Yeah, it's sitting outside. I was gonna do a follow-up picture of it decaying, but it hasn't decayed yet, I guess because I didn't cut it. So we have squirrels eating our pumpkins. We have 5 pumpkins total. 2 of them have been eaten alive. A third one I have as a distraction to block it from eating my good pumpkin. And then we have the one my girlfriend painted and then mine. So we've only got 1 pumpkin left protecting ours. Once that one's gone, I think it's going to get eaten. And I'll definitely take a picture. Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Wars. Ignore the haters. They smell funny. Yeah, it's hard, though. They're very loud. I already answered that. Make it so that Plague Beast isn't the only Queen Plague Beast. Yeah, I could do that. How much do you know about the old Bionicle storyline? I know the broad strokes of it. I know a lot about the Toa Mata and the Toa Nuva. That's when I followed the story. I've watched all the movies. I've seen all the little commercials, so I know the broad strokes of it. How Matanui was the island itself and a robot. He came to life and he was poisoned and then kicked out of his body, that kind of thing. But the details and intricacies, like a lot of the names, I get mixed up. Yes, I do. When is the new 30-minute MOCs coming out? Still a work in progress. Yeah, let me do something with the stream real quick and see if I can. Okay, so I'm gonna block that off real quick and pull up episode 12 and see if there's anything I can spoil. Probably not that much. I haven't looked too much into the new Batman sets. I don't collect too many system things. How can you support the channel? Just watching is pretty much it right now. I don't like to ask for money or anything. But I will open up a shop with some stuff you can buy. So if you like my channel and want some stuff, you can buy stuff that will really help. Oh, okay. Let me check that out. Lucas, I'll definitely check that out real quick. Let me see here. See if there's anything I can show. Oh, I better mute the audio. That would be bad. I could do... There's just so little I could show, honestly. How about this? Let me check the script to make sure there's no spoilers. Yeah. I can... No, I can't. I really can't spoil anything. I was gonna do some... There's a Rahi that's literally a mountain. No, Etalk's a little different than a mountain. Etalk has its reasons. Okay, I got a really small thing I can spoil, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna have to cut out everything else before and after it so I don't spoil anything important. This is some straight vengeance going on here. I'm not going to give you any context for this, so, okay. Okay, we can do this. Spoiling, and this is very early, so don't hate me if it's bad. Okay, let's remove the cover. Let's re-add that in there. And it might be a little laggy. Okay. Here we go. This is a very, very, very small spoiler of season 12, or episode 12. Here we go. There it is. Let me play it without the effect on it so that it that's all I can show without spoiling anything. And even that has spoilers in it. Etalk's greatest fear is running out of pebble cookies to eat. Sorry, I'm just watching some reactions. Yeah, I thought I needed to have some combat going on, and it's still, like I said, a really work in progress. And there's some better scenes too that I can't show you. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. Let me show you. I think I can get away with showing you. So when block this off first. When we find Stippling, he's not in such good shape. And this is totally totally incomplete and work in progress. This isn't even edited yet, so, but I'll show you a still image from that if I can make it do it. Okay, I'm ready. So again, not even edited yet, but this is where we find Stippling and kind of the condition he's in. And that blue in the background is to crop out for something better. And if you look closely, you'll notice he's missing one of his fins, or one of the parts of his headdress on his back of his head. And he's missing a lot of other pieces as well, so he's not doing so hot. He's actually missing, if you look at his hand too, he's missing a lot from his hand. And at the very end, you'll see a good close-up on that mask. So yeah, we have some dramatic things ahead of us, and this is a big spoiler, but you don't have any context to it, so. Sorry, I'm just waiting for your reactions. I'm just watching as they come in. How did this happen? You'll have to find out. This has been building up as the story's been unfolding. He's had his own adventures. I just watched 30 seconds of Stippling twitching. Yes, you did. That's the unglamorous side of filming is a lot of extra footage. This is extra footage. Did you move in a new studio? Yep, I have a new studio. This isn't it though. This is actually my kitchen. Turned into a final fight scene. Okay, so that's about all I have for that. We're gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna look at these ultra builds as requested, and then we're gonna wrap up here. Let me turn on the music. And I really do appreciate everyone coming out and supporting me and watching today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, at least a little bit. If not, then I apologize, and you probably aren't here now if you weren't enjoying yourself. Okay, so let's see how I can pull up the unveil my whole screen so you can. Okay, here we go. So let me type. No, okay, we gotta use this one. Laggy. Star Wars sets revealed. Ooh. I used to only collect Star Wars sets, so I used to buy all this stuff, and then I started doing Star Wars, or not Star Wars, Bionicle only. Oh wow! Okay, let's look at this. I guess I can't zoom in any closer. Open link in new tab. No zoom in. Okay. Printing on that curved calf piece, that's pretty cool. I wonder why it's only showing. Interesting. So yeah, printing there. That color, or that upper thigh piece in brown, which is cool. There's a lot of printing on this. That's pretty cool. Trying to figure out what's wrapped around. That must be cloth wrapped around there. Chirut Mwi. I bet there's a better pronunciation for that. Do I still collect Star Wars sets? Only the buildable figure sets. I don't do. Very rarely do I buy system sets anymore, other than Nexo Knights. This guy's cool. I like how they printed the flesh tone on the chest piece to show his like V-neck. That armor shell, I guess, to make his arm. That's like skin tone. That looks really weird. They're printing on some strange surfaces, like the edges of that bow. I'm surprised they can do that. That's pretty awesome. Oh, that Baz Malbus. I don't know how I feel about that one. It looks pretty cool, but it's those Technic beams don't, or those Technic panels look a little strange to me. That might just be a bad angle of it. These sets are just boring. Am I the only one that just finds them boring? I don't know. Maybe it's just because of my. I was more excited for these sets after I saw the movie, so I'm sure once I see the movie I'll be excited for them. But I think they intentionally picked the cooler ones to release first. But that Shore Trooper, at first glance, is probably my favorite. It's cool seeing that color schemes all over the place. Chirut Inmui looks odd. I like the head mold though. Just a lot going on, and then he looks good other than I see what they're going with the heavy armor, but not sure how I feel about that. We'll have to see. So, new leg armor on Baz. I think that's just the There's just a different color of the pre-existing one. Yep, so that's all I've got for today, everyone. I really appreciate having everyone join me and talk with me, and I hope I was able to answer some or all of your questions. That needs to go away. There we go. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm going to go ahead and let the live stream run off just a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. So thanks again. I'm going to get that video out soon. There's going to be a Let's Build soon, and I'm going to continue to work on the season finale of 30-minute MOCs. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.